All right, so today a much different route than our normal way. A 2-cylinder John Deere. Keeping with my tractor revival theme, I want to hear this pop again. I've spent a ton of money on it too over the years, and it's never quite been the reliable tractor that it used to be. So we're going to try to fix that problem because I want to be able to get on it and start it up and make it go. But step one is to just hear it run again because it hasn't run for several years again. So that's what we're going to work on right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. Today, a B John Deere. A 48 B John Deere, I believe, if you look it up by the serial number. And my great-grandpa bought this new. And he gave it to my grandpa when he started farming. And it was his main tractor for a good while. And the story goes, I remember it running when I was a kid. It was popping along happily, and Grandpa still used it. I'm going to set this battery down. Okay. And I remember just vaguely it running. I remember it. I clearly have a memory of it going down the driveway here, popping along, and it had the 37 pull-type sickle mower behind it. And I guess those John Deere implement hitch pins were like a short little 90-degree pin. And I remember it popping out and the mower coming unhooked and going off one way, and you know, the hose is dragging it. And I vividly remember that and him having to get off and hook it back up and probably saying some not so nice things, but I do remember that very clearly. After that, I don't know if it was that same winter or one winter, the water pump went out. It actually has a water pump on it, which is not the way it is in the parts book. If you look up a B in the parts book, it does not show a water pump. That is a thing that came about with like the 50 John Deere. So it's got a water pump on it. The water pump went out. He didn't get around to fixing it that fall. Parked it in the shed. Next spring he went in there. It was stuck. I mean, and stuck tight. I don't know why it stuck, but he had it in the other building, which is metal sided, and I guess it drew enough moisture that it froze up. And it sat there, so he just didn't mess with it again because it wasn't really the main workhorse anymore. It was just kind of a thing that he used here and there for different things. So he didn't spend a lot of effort doing it. So it sat there and it sat there. And then when I kind of got interested in old tractors as a kid, reading all the ageless iron things and all that and seeing in the magazines, you know, he decided that he and I were going to fix this up and restore it. So step one was trying to get it unstuck. We tried everything. We drug this thing around this place, I don't know how long. We filled it full of every kind of fluid imaginable. We stood it up on end one time where it was just over center, so hopefully the weight would, you know, bust it loose. It didn't do that. It sat like that for a good while and never came down. So we finally took it. I think one of Grandpa's, it was actually Grandma's cousin. They watched the videos. They said one time, they said, if you can't get that unstuck, said, we'll get it unstuck for you. So they took it, they got it unstuck, but not running. And we messed with it, and it just, when we finally did get it running, it wasn't running right. I had the magneto rebuilt by an old-time magneto shop, and I thought that would be taken care of. Well, no. Several years ago when I messed with it, they didn't have it timed right inside because these magnetos have like an impulse timing inside, and there's little marks. You can have it set different places. Well, the 2-cylinder John Deere's, you read the marks differently than you would if it was on any other piece of equipment. So that wasn't right. So I fixed that. I rebuilt the carburetor again, and I had it running decent-ish. Took it away from here to rake hay at a place and brought it back. And then after that, it really just hasn't wanted to run again. I don't know what gets into it, but it's very frustrating because I've literally worked on tractors that guys have drug out of a fence row, and I'll put a battery and gas in it and it'll fire right up. And this one sat in the shed its whole life and it just won't run consistently well. So we're going to try to get it running today, and I think I'm going to take the head off of it, and I'm going to take it and let that head shop go through it and make sure that it's not, you know, got valves that leak and different things, because I just feel like it's super low on compression. I don't know any of the numbers of what it's supposed to be, but I just get that feeling that it's just not enough. So, and it's just possible that the engine is wore out. I mean, this thing got used a bunch, but it had been bored out, and M&W pistons in it, you know, that's what it has in it. So that's what I was always told. It's got M&W pistons in it. So anyway, step one, we're going to see if we can make her pop again and hope that it's not stuck. I hope it didn't stick sitting in here. It's not, it's sitting in a dry spot. So hopefully that is the case. Consequently, it is also the same day as the tractor drive video, if you saw that video, and I'm about dried off, and I thought this would be a good thing to do inside today instead of fooling with working outside and getting soaked again. Now, I believe I converted this to negative ground. I don't know why, but because I converted it to 12 volt, I suppose. But I got it set up where I could use these batteries like I use in everything. A 6526 Napa battery. Next step will be, does it have any fuel in it? Ooh, yes it does, but I bet it ain't very good fuel. Okay. So that's a nasty, richish color. Now it's going to start raining. I would say we're going to be hooking up the jumper cables, but we can try this anyway and see. Yeah, we got nothing. Although that could be battery cable. Could be the ground cable. Okay, jumper cables. Okay, Johnny, will you pop? Well, nothing so far. I still feel like it's not making good connection. Okay, come on. Well, there I got one kerchuff out of it. Gee, frustrating. All right. So it's cranking over. I see that the petcocks are open for whatever reason. But we ain't getting no popping. So I would assume that we will be standing on the points. And as if to illustrate this point, here is my piece of emery cloth from last time. All right. I recently bought a battery distributor for this, because I was going to swap it out to see if this thing was the culprit. But I'd really like to keep it original. I mean, the nice thing about this is you don't need a battery to keep it running. It will run without that. These parts are super expensive too, for everything to do with it. Looks like a new one in there. Alright. Come on over there, yo. This stuff has all been replaced. I mean, it's like new. I can see though that the points are corroded. Can you see that? How they're all hazed up? That's common with points for some reason. Nowadays, more than others, it seems like. There. See, look at that stuff that come off of it. That no make fire. Come on. Let's get it again. I don't know. All right. That can't be any worse, so it's got to be gooder. Everything else look good here. Let's sand on the coil. There. Hope you can hear me over the rain. That's been today's theme, in the rain. Now, it would make me really happy if you would pop. Nothing. I ain't getting nothing. But I bet you that the carburetor is going to need rebuilt. I just bet you that it is a ball of rust again. Let's take this off. Oh yeah. Sure. Try to give it a shot of juice. I don't know that that's going to help this, but come on. Okay. Open the petcocks. I don't know. I just ain't getting nothing. Our gas doesn't look like gas though. So okay, what do we want to try next? Well, flat iron. Factory service tool. Mouse piss in the toolbox that I'm handling barehanded. We're going to try take the spark plugs out. Or not. These tools have been in this tractor since new. Isn't that neat? That they still exist. Doesn't smell like anything's happening here. Turn it so you can see. Nothing. Which we have had this trouble before. Okay, oh, there was one. I got one out of it. Man, I don't know. I am thinking our, what do I want to say? I'm thinking our magneto is all magnetoed out, and that the magnets aren't strong enough or something. Because I'm not getting why we don't have more running happening here. See, it only fired one time after every so many rounds, and that ain't gonna work. Maybe I'm just not getting a good enough ground out here. Gee, boys, I don't know. I ain't no two-cylinder expert. Matter of fact, I'm not an expert on anything. Let's put a little fire down the hole. Another thing to do would probably be drain out that mystery fluid that is not really gas. That is pathetic. That ain't gas. There was an old guy that lived around here that had a bunch of these, and I learned a bunch from him about them, but he just died the other day, so I'm not gonna be able to ask him any questions anymore. Nothing. I'm still not convinced that we're getting the correct amount of anything. You know? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think we got enough spark. I just broke the camera mount again, so our time is limited, is what I'm saying. We're just not capable of this project. But I think my problem is in here. I think that's its biggest failure, is this freaking magneto. It's not firing under compression. See, the way it's made, you can't, well, no, that's not true either. I was gonna say you can't see that it's gonna fire, but That's dumb. I almost did a dumb thing. Well, no. I got the clutch locked out. Ah, dang it. Can't reach it. I want to watch this go, because I don't think it's going. And we ain't getting no points action here. I don't think. So let's think about that for a minute. Right now, okay, right there, they should be closed. Are they closed? They should be closed. Are they closed? Now, let's go to the high side. There, we got something. I think we got her now. I don't think they were closing all the way. Okay, now I think we'll have a better chance of success. For whatever reason, I don't think that these points were working correctly. I think that and I think I've had trouble with that before, where they lose their adjustment, and I don't know what is with this. It's just magneto. It's just possessed by demons. It doesn't want to play nice. I mean, it should run as good as it's spinning over, and I mean, if it needs a carburetor cleaning, I guess that's on me, but geez, it ought to run. I mean, unless that, God dang it. Well, now we're done because I just broke the top of the camera off, but the only thing would be that maybe that spring is losing its tension that holds the whole shebang, like the tension on the points. I don't know. Now I can't stick you to anything until the new camera mount comes next week, so sure, I'll just have to hold you. Come on, baby. I mean, not even a pop. Not even a single pop. We just ain't getting nothing. No dice. I guess we'll pull that carburetor off. Okay, let's shut this down. That sediment bowl just don't look good, does it? Looks like it's full of garbage. Come on. Urgh. It's kind of warm in the shed here. Hot and sticky, and not in a good way. Let's take a look at what comes out of there. That's actually gas colored. Gas-esque. I've had worse. Okay, let's take this out. This is a fine how do you do as well.
I said, isn't that a fine how do you do?
Oh, isn't that a fine how do you do?
How is that funny? What's funny about that? How do you do as a greeting? Why is that funny? Why are you laughing?
I don't know. He was laughing.
Okay. Can we get this? Yes or no? Well, you see, I don't know. Let's get out of the way, Chuck. Get out of here, you. There, get out of there. All right. Can we get to that back one? I kind of feel like I got to do that first because it's hard to get to. This is a design to prove why you shouldn't design things this way. This thing is just, I'm not a fan, see? I'd like to be, but I'm not. If this tractor would have run excellent when I was a kid, I might be a John Deere collector. I don't know. But I think it was the constant frustration that no deers on this place ever wanted to run. So, that's what caused that. When I was in high school, I had to work on an A John Deere for a customer of the school, I guess you'd say. Brought it into the FFA shop, literally drug it out of the fence row. The manifold was rotted, exhaust manifold and whatever, and it was some nasty mess. It was in the part of the county that's sand, so there was sand and everything. I literally cleaned the fuel, poured in some gas and put a battery in, and it fired right up and ran perfect. Sat all that time. And this one is just so frustrating because it's been taken care of, other than one sad winter when it decided to lock up. I mean, is that fair? No, it's not fair. I would take this on a tractor drive if I could get it to be reliable, but there's no way. I mean, if you get it running, I'd never shut it off, because, geez. Now, I'm trying to figure out, I know I never take that other pipe off. I can just take it out of here as such. Come on. I guess it's just in there tightly. There. Okay. Come on. Free yourself. Free yourself, you popper. Jeez. I bet it's a dirty, nasty mess. Me too, carburetor. Me too. Come on. What you're gonna want to do is drop it down in the dirt. Okay, we need to take this to an actual workbench, probably. Because this ain't gonna go good. Disassembling. Boy, it don't look, in that part anyway, it doesn't look too rusty. But there's still a lot more to go. I think we should take this to the workbench and then disassemble. That would just be the smart thing to do. So that's what we'll do. So I'm thinking that there's going to be a part 2 to that video because it's probably already pretty long. But to wrap this one up, I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder if this will run. So I looked it over. I think I'm going to put gas in it and try to put a battery in it and see if it won't start. I bet it will. That's why, I don't know. I don't want to say it's better, but I have not very good luck with that. But I bet you this will fire right up. So just a second, I'll pour gas in and we'll see what happens. All right, battery, jumper cables. I see it's dripping gas out of this shutoff, so gas will flow in. Ooh, is it gonna keep leaking the whole time? That's actually loose. Maybe that's the trouble. Let's see. Let's tighten that up. Just a sherd. Maybe that will keep her nice. Let's see if it'll fire right up. This hasn't run in 4 or 5 years either. So, neutral, sure. Come on. We might have to fall on the points. I don't know. Nope, there we go. There we go. Several years, but it fired right up. Charging the battery even. And it's got some oil pressure. It definitely needs a, there we go. Probably needs the carburetor rebuilt. And I do remember something else it needs. It needs something done to the governor. The governor does not respond right. And I don't know if it's just adjustment or whether the governor is toast. I've got several more 70 engines for parts, so I can rob what I need if I have to. But I'm thinking that this one is going to have a, I'm going to pull the head off of it and take it in there to that place and let them go through it, because it needs valve guides. It's smoking pretty bad. It doesn't look like it's putting any compression in here though, so. But it definitely could use some attention. And probably a manifold. I don't think my manifold is very good anymore, as indicated by this. We'll have to pull the sheet metal off and see what we can find. But that's cool. That hasn't run in a long time. Wonder if it'll run without life support. It should, because it's charging the battery. All right, well, another running tractor. That's dandy. We may have to get it out and drive it around before pulling it apart, just to say it's moved in a while. I'd move it now, but I'm afraid I'll chuck all the stuff off of it. We can try that. We're about out of battery on the GoPro. All right, fender extensions. Your day has not yet come. I know this game. I'll get it all ready to move and then it'll die. All right. better not move it more than that because this tire is super flat. It's a rough old horse that needs some love. Like I said, this is another one that literally was basically drug out of the woods. A guy I knew bought it and then he traded it to me. So it wasn't a building, but it was out in the country, and engine was stuffed full of acorns. So we'll pick this up another time. I'm about out of battery. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.